Good morning, everyone. Let's continue with the topic. I hope you are in your sound health. Let's continue. In the previous class, we were discussing about a different environment, different types of environment rather. Today, we'll be discussing about social and cultural environment. What do I mean when I say social and cultural environment? I mean, what factors are included into it? Social environment refers to the characteristic of the society in which a business firm exists actually. And what factors comes into it? The demographic forces. What are the demographic forces? The size of the population, the composition of the population, the mobility of the population. Did you get my point? The geographical areas included into it. All this comes under social environment. And what about other things? Social institutions, social groups. Then point number 3, caste structure, family organization. Then educational system, literacy rates. Did you get my point? Then our customs, tradition, belief system, lifestyle, taste, preference, all this comes under the social and cultural environment. Did you get my point? If I turn the page and go on to the next page, I'll get my other points, plus family, marriage, education, religion, attitudes towards work are some of the examples of social and cultural environment or socio-cultural factors. Did you get my point? Now moving on to the third point, that is economic and financial environment. What is an economic environment? An economic environment comprises of all those economic forces which influence the function of the business. That means which has an effect on the business function. For example, the nature and the structure of the economy, the stage of the economic development, the economic resources which we have, the level of income. Did you get my point? Your income level is also counted. Economic policies, then the distribution of income. If the income distribution is not done properly, then also there is a problem. So the main components of economic environment are the nature. And when I talk about nature, I mean the capitalist, whether it is capitalist in nature, socialist in nature, or it's a mixed economy. When I talk about structure, I mean to say what? 5-year plan, then capital formation, structure of national output. Did you get my point? Balance, imbalance between the different sectors. Then we have the economic policies. What are the different policies? Export-import policy, industrial policies, monetary policy, fiscal policy, technology policy. I mean, there are different sorts of policies which we have to know. Looking on to the next point, organization and development of capital market. That includes banking system, security markets, etc. Now, economic indices. What are the economic indices? Per capita income, rate of savings and investment, price level, balance of payment, interest rate, gross national product. All these comes under economic indices. And what comes under economic infrastructure and stage of development? Product markets and other factors as well. That means the degree of competition, the market size, all this comes under this. So these are you can also see the chart here on this page. It's a page number, you can see page number 18 of my book. I don't know about your book. You can just the next page which we are following. This you can see a chart showing the elements of macro environment, which has this chart you just have to see because the main chart is important. What we have done the other day, that chart only have to be done, not this chart. Okay, because if you see two charts, you get confused. So don't go for this chart. Go for the other one which we have done. Only one chart can be drawn, and that's more than enough. Now, point number 4, technological and physical environment. Main elements of the technological and physical environment are the types of technology, the sources of technology, the rate of technological change, any new process and equipment used. Understood? Which process you are following? Research and development, because for technology, when you're talking about, there has to be an R&D. Without that R&D system, research and development, it's incomplete. Okay, now we move on to the next page, and that's point number 5, natural environment. What does natural environment comprises of? Natural environment comprises of the main natural sources are climatic and geographical conditions, the population, the pollution level, what levels of pollution are there in different areas, ecological system, agricultural and commercial and other natural resources. All this comes under the natural environment. Last but not the least, the global environment. When we talk about international environment or the global environment, then we first focus on the international agencies. Can you name me some international agencies? How many of you knows? Okay. World Bank, IMF, International Monetary Fund, WTO, World Trade Organization, EEC, so many others, etc. There are there which are international conventions, treaties, agreements, economic and business conditions. Understood? All these things comes under this. So main determinants of international environment are, or global environment are, state of the world economy, international economic cooperation, barriers to the international trade, international market structure and competition, national economic policies, then we can also tell cultural factors in different countries. Each country has its own culture, no? Different cultures, yes. Growth and transfer of technology, then the growth and speed of multinational, because you know what, the multinationals' growth and their speed have to be checked. So with this we finish off the explanation for today, and I would like you to note down the question answers for this. So take out the register, everyone, and take down the question answers. Question number 1. Are you ready? Question number 1. What is our social environment? What is our social environment? Question number 2. Question number 2. What does social and cultural environment consist of? What does social and cultural environment consist of? Question number 3. Give some examples of socio-culture factor, or you can say socio-cultural factors. Give some example of socio, S-O-C-I-O, socio, then dash, cultural, C-U-L-T-U-R-A-L, cultural factors. Have you written down socio-cultural factors? Okay. Question number 4. Take down. Give the example for economic and financial environment. Give examples for economic and financial environment. Give examples for economic and financial environment. Question number 5. What are the main components of economic environment? What are the main components of economic environment? What are the main components of economic environment? Question number 6. Question number 6. What are the main elements of technological and physical environment? What are the main elements of technological and physical environment? Question number 7. Are you writing? Question number 7, yes, write down. Name the main natural forces. Name the main natural forces. Question number 8. Name the international agencies known to you. Name the international agencies known to you. Question number 9. State the main, state, S-T-A-T, state the main determinants of international environment. State the main determinants of international environment. State the main determinants of international environment. Only 9 questions from this, what we have done today. I hope you all are doing everything in the registers. Don't leave anything for the last moment. Keep doing all the question answers, all the assignments, all the questions which I am giving after each and every classes. So kindly make sure you're not leaving out anything and copy all the questions correctly and write down the answers. Okay. So that's all for today. In the next class, of course, we'll be doing the SWOT analysis and the entire lesson will be completed. So till then, complete all the question answers, whatever there is there in the slide. Don't leave anything for the last moment. As I told you, you all are having the textbook. Copy the answers from there. I have already dictated the questions. Do it. Complete everything, every work. Don't leave anything for the last moment. So we'll again meet in our next class. Till then, stay at home, stay safe.
Welcome to the new series of Business Environment. In this video, we are going to learn meaning and features of business environment. By the way, this is OBC Online Business Class. If you're still not subscribed, please consider it. It means a lot for us. Business environment means the sum of total of all individuals, institutions and other forces that are outside the control of business enterprises, but they may affect in performance. There are various forces like economic, social, political, technological and other forces which operate outside business enterprises, but they are a part of business environment. Or in the other word, business environment means all of the internal and external factors that affect how the company functions, including employees, customers, management, supply, demand, and business regulations. For example, change in government economic policies, rapid technological development or political uncertainty, change in fashion and taste of consumers, and increase in competition in the market. They all influence the working of a business enterprises. And also increase in tax by the government can make things expenses to buy. Or political uncertainty may create fear in the mind of investors. Like change in fashion and taste of consumer may shift the demand into the market from existing product to new one. Moving on to features of business environment. First one, totality of external forces. It's a sum of a total of all things external to the business firm because this aggregate or combined several separate elements in the nature. That's why it is totality of external forces. Moving on to second point, Specific and general forces. Business enterprises always include two forces, that is, specific force and general forces. Specific force such as investor, consumers, competitors, and suppliers affect individual enterprises directly and immediately in their day-to-day working. It only affects particular organization. But general forces are like social, political, legal, and technological conditions have impact on all business enterprises and thus may affect an individual firm only indirectly. Moving on, third point, interrelatedness. Usually, all parts of a business environment are closely interrelated. For example, due to increased awareness for healthcare have been increased the demand for many health products and services like soft drinks, fat-free cooking oil. Nowadays, new health product and services are changing up people's lifestyles. Moving on to fourth point, dynamic nature. Always business environment is dynamic because it's always keep on changing, whether in the term of technological improvements or shift in demand preference or entry of new competition in the market or any other. That's why it's dynamic in nature. Moving on to fifth point, uncertainty. Uncertainty means irregular. Business environment is largely uncertainty as it is very difficult to predict the future happenings, especially when environment changes are taking place too frequently. Like in the case of information technology or fashion industry, you can't predict what's tomorrow. Moving on to sixth point, complexity. Complexity means difficult. Since it always consists of numerous interrelated and dynamic conditions or forces which arise from different sources, it's because it's difficult to understand what exactly in the environment. In the other word, environment is a complex phenomenon that is relatively easier to understand in the part but difficult to grasp in its total. For example, it may be difficult to know the amount of impact on social, economical, political, technological or legal forces on change in demand of product in the market. Moving on to seventh point, relativity. Relativity means depends. Every business environment is relatively concept since it's differ from country to country and each region to region. Political condition in USA, for instance, differ from those in India and Pakistan. Similarly, demands for saris may be frequently high in India, whereas it may be almost non-existent in France because due to traditions. These are the meaning and features of business environment. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe to our channel and click here to watch the next video which is on importance of business environment. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome back. We know strategy analysis has two main branches: analysis of a firm's external environment and analysis of a firm's internal environment. In our previous lessons, we learned how to analyze the internal and external environment of a firm. SWOT is a famous framework that allows us to combine the two types of analysis. SWOT is sometimes referred to as an internal-external analysis. The acronym SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The first two, strengths and weaknesses, are related to a firm's internal environment, while the last two, opportunities and threats, consider its external environment. We can use a SWOT analysis when analyzing industries, companies, products, new initiatives, policies, or even people. It is a simple and useful framework that allows us to group and visualize strengths and weaknesses, and to identify potential threats and opportunities that exist in the external environment. In addition, the SWOT framework could be useful when you want to understand the areas in which your firm performs well, and the ones that need improvement. The four elements of SWOT analysis are usually placed in a table which looks something like this. Internal strengths and external opportunities are vertically paired as helpful elements, while internal weaknesses and external threats are paired as harmful elements. Right, so if we perform a company analysis under strengths, we would expect to see its core competences, the areas where the business excels and has a competitive advantage over competitors. An example of a firm's strength could be its strong brand recognition. Weaknesses are areas that need improvement. Such vulnerabilities place a company at a disadvantage when competing against other firms. Usually, the disadvantage results from other companies having a competitive advantage. An example of a weakness is higher cost structure. Opportunities can be seen as favorable factors existing in a company's external environment, in the industry where it operates, and have the potential to improve its current results and competitive positioning. Taking advantage of opportunities depends on how skilled a company's top management team is. To take advantage of an opportunity, the management must be able to recognize opportunities when they arise and then act accordingly when the time is right. An example of an opportunity is the advent of a new technology the company can exploit to expand its product offering. The last of the 4 elements of SWOT analysis is threats. Threats arise in a company's external environment and might harm its current business. But if you can identify a threat, you can lessen its impact by taking precautions. An example of a threat is the entry of a strong competitor with access to advanced technology. This is a great overview of the SWOT framework. In our next lesson, we'll conclude the strategy module of the course by applying SWOT in practice. Thanks for watching.